Hello, guys. This is Nikki, also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching the Global Market Update with me. It's Thursday, January 14, 2021. Let's begin. What are the low risk, high return rewards that are available in the market today? And one of our answers would be Beyond Meat. Who is ready for an irresistible breakfast wrap from Beyond Meat? And as a plant based leader, Beyond Meat wants to help you kickstart your 2021. January is Veganuary with healthier habits for the most important meal of the day. RSVP, the breakfast wraps. What is this breakfast warp wrap? Free breakfast at Earth Burger Thursday only. Beyond Meat is giving out free breakfast wraps at restaurants across the country. There's nothing that a free breakfast sandwich can't solve. Find out if your city is on the list below. It was 13 hours ago that Beyond Meat discussed this. Beyond Meat is on a mission to actually make you eat more plants. And one of their marketing campaigns this 2021 is to actually give you free breakfast sandwiches. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Your roommates, bosses, even your dog would not want to deal with the irrational hunger that develops when you skip it. So whether you're hungry or not, shove an egg sandwich in your mouth and start the morning off right. This is a task that Beyond Meat is making easier this week. The plant-based meat. Yes, it is a beast. It is a beast when it comes to plants. You can book time slots via Resi to pick up your freebie on January 14 between 8 to 11 a.m. Because this is all about repping local spots. Each city is involved, coming up with a different restaurant. Here is the full lineup of what they are serving. Austin, the Farmer John from Brunchbird. Chicago, Beyond Skillet from Yoke. Dallas, Beyond Breakfast Sausage Sandwich from Love Burger Shack. Los Angeles, Beyond Banging Breakfast Sandwich from Hilltop Coffee and Kitchen. And the Breakfast Burger from Cafe Organics. New York, Vegan Deluxe Sandwich from Gregory's Coffee and Beyond Breakfast Sandwich from PS Kitchen. San Antonio, breakfast wraps from Earth Burger. San Francisco, breakfast sandwich from Craftsman and Wold. Seattle, Beyond Cheddar Biscuit Sandwich from Anchorhead Coffee. Washington, D.C. has Plant Egg Sammy from Plant Burger. You could see that these sausages and patties are in a way something like an advertising promotion. But in a way, I think that these small things can actually have a big impact on the company itself. So the Chief Growth Officer, Chuck Muth, said that in a press release, we know that small changes has a big impact on both our health and the health of our planet. And we are thrilled to partner with local restaurants to offer consumers our delicious and better for you breakfast options, no sacrifice required. I love that. Actually, them partnering with local restaurants is actually a nod that Beyond Meat is not just working with fast food like McDonald's or KFC's or Starbucks or Dunkin' Brands or companies like Tim Hortons, right? Or QSRs, right? Those are the partners already of Beyond Meat. And when you take a look at Beyond Meat's chart, guys, Beyond Meat is currently at support. So, BYND, the ticker symbol is BYND. It's good to see that Beyond Meat currently is actually at support of about 116 and 121. Even after last night at 125, I do think that more and more people can buy this because this is just low risk here. Even if you're buying at 125 tonight or even at 128 tonight, I still believe that you have more leeway. What is your reward? Something in the realm of at least this gap down from about 148, 147 here. You can actually see a profit-taking area here, or even 158, 172. But if you are really an Awesome10X member, I'd say that the reward is really as high as 160 above. I'd say that at least 160 to 200 is where is where my normal target for Beyond Meat will be. Why 160? 160 was the they had an offering before, and 160 is the $10 billion market cap. So I do think that 160 line is really still a very difficult resistance area. 160 here, 160 here. Even if you break out, which it did actually initially when there was the Alibaba partnership with LME, you could still see this resistance emanating 160 area. Is it realistic to actually buy Beyond Meat at 90 or even at 80? I have a leeway. Actually, I'm trading it as this. This is my strategy for Beyond Meat. I love the company long term, but in the short term, even if I'm buying at 125 or even at 123 or 120, 117, 118, if you're buying somewhere here, you also have to give yourself a leeway to be wrong, such that by March 5, the earnings call, if it was wrong, you can enter again at 90 and it should not be a problem. Of course, by March, it could also be at 160 already before it actually falls. So I think that you have about 2 months to prepare, and Beyond Meat is in a good shape to actually be in a part of your portfolios. Beyond Meat, are you excited for Ethan Brown? See you January 21. How I built this resilient series. Ethan Brown, the founder and CEO of Beyond Meat, is scheduled to actually talk about Beyond Meat on January 21, a week from now. So veganism is a thing. Flexitarian, it's a thing. Do you want your Beyond breakfast sausages? I think that it's gonna be good. The Beyond Meat breakfast sandwich from Starbucks is something else. Absolute chef's kiss. Beyond Meat breakfast sandwich, have it in Starbucks sandwich today. It's really good, and I recommend trying it. Why don't we watch a few things from the CEO himself, Mr. Ethan Brown?
Protein. We simply have to provide the consumer with a new and better choice.
Let's start from the start.
If you look at what the mobile phone did in relation to the landline, nobody had to denigrate the landline. And we don't think we have to denigrate animal protein. We simply have to provide the consumer with a new and better choice and let them make the decision. And if we're successful,
Right.
more and more will sign on with us. If you look at what the...
So I like always investing. Oh, all right. I'm here. I'm back. All right. So I always like to invest in the Teslas of a category. So if it is electric vehicle, you have the leader, which is Tesla. If it was plant meat or alternative meat category, if you're going to ask me, I think Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods catalyzed this movement. And so owning a piece of the best is actually what Awesome10X believes in, investing in excellence, investing in the great leaders. And I have to say that Beyond Meat here at 125 is truly me buying a premium, but I am highly willing to pay for that premium. I don't need to wait at $90. I don't need to wait $100 or $110 to get into the action. It doesn't mean that I'm right. If I buy at 125, I don't mind if it even goes down to $90, as I said. I put the 5% or 3% allocation in each idea. And people are asking, what is your allocation of your portfolio? Personally, it's really about 90% global, around 10% Philippines. Very small on the Philippine market. I'm very, very huge on the US. And I'm deploying more and more of my money globally because triple digits, 10x moves in USA. I mean, what's not to love? Rosh, before I answer those questions, guys, let me finish first my update for the day. So I talk about Beyond Meat. I like to talk about Zoom video. Let's talk about Zoom video as well today. Zoom video actually is the category leader of your video conferencing. And the beautiful thing about Zoom is that it has finally corrected to a better area here at about $330, just $326, $330, and recently it's now up to $364. That was actually a gap fill. If you're a technical trader, this was your gap, and this was your gap fill at about $330. So we started buying and nibbling into our Zoom video last night. Either you bought in at 364, or even if you got in before 364, like about 350 or 360 here at that zone, with a leeway to enter more at 290, that is something that Awesome10X is also doing. Where is my reward? Perhaps I'll sell it at about 450 or even at 560, not necessarily tomorrow, but over time. Why do I like Zoom video? Okay, there's many reasons why, but at the end of the day, Zoom video has a substantially higher base versus last year. I am aware that they've already gone something in the realm of about more than 370% growth year on year last year after a blistering 170% growth. So at the end of the day, I like Eric Yan. I understand that they made a share offering. Let's show to you the share offering. Typically, share offerings to me are more of a support rather than a resistance. if I believe in a company. Zoom Video, let's go to the Twitter channel. Zoom Video actually made a share sale recently. ZM. We're talking about Zoom Video's $1.5 billion stock sale. Yeah. So Zoom Video about 13 hours ago made a secondary 6 million share at 340. And it closed on Friday. JPM is the sole underwriter. Let's read it. Zoom is up 6% and offering at 340. Really? Despite its size, the issue is not overly dilutive. So this just shows to you how strong the market believes in Zoom Video, such that they can just raise $2 billion, $1.5 billion overnight and get eaten up. And, the $340 is a support. You've usually in a placement like that, the 340 is a support zone, or even if it falls, it's just about 10 to 20% lower. So that means that I have a certain baseline on how my low risk, high reward returns would come from. JP Morgan is the underwriter. It will be enforced for 30 days. That would be about 4 million Zoom shares in total. And they would increase their capitalization and financial flexibility to acquire complementary assets, although it doesn't have a concrete plan in regard to that just now. I do believe, if you want to ask me, what would be the best acquisition for Zoom Video right now? In my head, perhaps Zoom and Kahoot. That is a good acquisition in my view. Or even if it's not a full acquisition, just like a percentage share, the way Microsoft and Disney has a partnership in Zoom, I'd like to say that Zoom and Kahoot is it's a match made in heaven. I would have wanted Zoom and Slack to be a match made in heaven. But I also like the fact that Slack and CRM actually joined forces, which actually makes me also say that when you think about enterprise productivity, some of you would say it's Microsoft, but others would say it's Slack. And so for other people who believe in Salesforce and Slack, I think this was a match made in heaven and another reason for a low-risk entry. While the NASDAQ goes all-time highs, you could see these high-quality companies, I'd say they are the Teslas of their category. Salesforce is the software as a service giant, and at these levels of about $218, I believe that we have a bargain price here. Now, it could fall to about $200 or even at $180, but I don't really mind. So these are the companies that I actively would buy into: Zoom Video, Beyond Meat, and CRM, aka Salesforce. Now, I'm aware that there's a lot of SPACs happening, and so far, yes, you could see that people have been buying up Chamat SPACs, even if they don't know what's inside. After successfully listing IPOE, which is SoFi, social finance, and people are now buying IPOF without knowing what it is. It's now $10 to $15, 50% higher. And you've got Clover Health before, which was IPOC after a movement. 11 to 17. Although I haven't studied Clover Health, I'm actually taking a look whether this $13 area is a support area to buy into. What am I also taking a look at? I'm taking a look at some SPACs like Space. ARK Invest just discussed that they are opening an ARK Space Exploration Investment Fund, and in my view, it's almost impossible to think about space and space travel without this SPAC, which is SRAC, Stable Road Acquisition Corp. SRAC is going to be momentous. So there was a support. You can clearly see that Stable Road had a support here at about 14 and 15, right? There was a higher low here at about $12, and there were a lot more buyers here at 11. So ever since this listed, Stable Road, aka Momentous, has truly found a lot of buyers, and I could understand why. Because a lot of people want to bet that Elon Musk is right, that we are gonna enter the era of space travel, something in the realm of about next decade. 3D printing, drones. In fact, if you look at most of the sectors that are doing well, the ones that did really well have been a lot of these sectors. These additive manufacturing sectors have done very well. I'll show you a few of them. We have said that Desktop Metal was a very great SPAC. So far, this is actually consolidating in a very good flag mode here at about $20. And in my view, those who don't have Desktop Metal, and if you are bullish, could actually enter 20 all the way to 18 with a trajectory to go higher. This is, in my view, an uptrend channel. The people who sold at 23 are gone. Perhaps it's going to consolidate. My bias is really hugely bullish side, because I believe as well that the desktop metal is 10 times cheaper. It's going to be 10 times cheaper to produce a lot of things through additive manufacturing. I believe what Rick Fulop said in their presentation. So it comes from researching the company behind. So DM, all of these 3D printing is actually important. Take note that Nano Dimension last night, which is still a 3D printing name, went to $12. Amazing, right? 11.4. We have been entering at 2, 2.2. Some of us entered more at 3. I think some people even entered at 6. I stopped somewhere at 3, and 2, 3, 6, now it's 12. My gosh, right? But these are the 600% moves that's happening October till January. That's like October, November, December, January, just like 4 months. And if you take a look at drones, for instance, they're like 400% up. From 2 here around November, it's now at $8. You've got flying vehicles like EHang going $38. It was like 12, 13, 14 here around November. So I can understand the market fascination with all of these additive manufacturing, drones, and even space travel. And so I'm not surprised with how the market SPACs are doing this well. And I'm not surprised why people are buying IPOF, even if they don't know IPOF, whatever is going to be inside there. Just the same way as, example, some people believe so much in Bridgetown, in Mr. Peter Thiel, that people would buy the BTN the moment it lists, the second B-Town 2, right? And you could see that it's happening with Switchback. This is the second version of SBE. And in my view, this is a very good entry point here at about $12. We mentioned that SVFAO, which is Masayoshi Son's pack, here at about $13 or even at $12 you got in. It was a great entry. In my view, even as it falls to $12.50, these are great entries. So we have a lot of winners. Yes, you've heard about me talk about ACTC. But last night, we had a very strong move on some weed names like Subversive Capital. We already said to buy the 1011. We gave it for free. If you were listening to us in our inner circle, told about Silver Spike and Subversive Capital, guys. You can actually just check it out. SBCF, SBVCF, Awesome10X. We talked about Jay-Z Weed. This was a month ago, aka Weed Maps. And we have so many videos inside Nikki U's Awesome10X, which is free. You can actually watch testimonials of our friends who actually subscribed, how they lost their job during pandemic, and how Awesome10X helped them, enabled them to make money, even as these are, you'd say that they are unqualified experts, right? But because of Awesome10X, we actually glorify the unqualified and help them bounce back from their job losses and the pandemic losses, and help them invest globally in some really interesting 10x potential industries. Actually, some of them are not even 10x potential. They're actually legit. They have revenue contracts. And so investing in them is almost like a no-brainer. Like if you ask me, investing in Beyond Meat, Zoom Video, making money on Tesla, or even the 1211s and the 175s, like, you know that we've talked about Geely on and on. Geely is now trading at 34. It's like 100% already from where it was here at about 15, 16. It's now trading at 33. Or how about 1211? It's already trading at about $250. Some of us even sold very early at about, some of us sold at as early as 120, right? We thought that 120, 110 was okay. It's already 250. With that said, is the market overextended? Maybe the question of most people is the market overextended? And to be honest, there are some sectors in my view that are overextended that I wouldn't mind to take some profits off. Like, I know that CleanSpark is a very good company. That is why we bought in. But at the same time, even as it goes to $50, I'll be willing to sell 30, 40, 50, as I said. I believe in Robin Hoods of China. And we invested in food too. But if this one goes something in the realm of $100, I'd also be willing to sell, like entering at 36 and 40 and be able to sell 100% higher in a single month. If it goes 80 or 100, it's a great thing. So it is not unusual for some of our Awesome 10X investment profiles to actually be hitting $1 million because they're already hitting 250,000 to $1 million or times 4 within 7 months. Yeah, that is true. Like, this is actually a December student. She is sharing a 50% up testimonial. We've been going well with OAC, aka Hims and Hers Healthcare. Made some money on Loke, aka Danimer Scientific, STEM, which is STPK, Roche, which is Pure Cycle Technologies, EXO, which is a part of Bionics, SBE, which is Switchback, aka ChargePoint, Tilray. Yes, we have been buying a lot of these weed names, and actually some weed, the legalization of cannabis, some of us are even 100-200% already on Tilray. Novs is now in their farming. It's now $25. Very good move. This is not even the lowest price, right? We got in at 11. This one entered at 15 because the upside was bigger than the downside. GAN is now trading at 23. I still believe in sports betting, so this is a good move. Hexo is now trading at $6. Copen is now trading at $3. Eman is now trading at 2.4, which is RC Moto is now trading somewhere in the zone of about $18. So I'm not saying that making 50% in a month is easy, but there was research involved. And so if you ask me, Plug Power, Neo, Clean Spark, FCell, we have them, but I'll be very honest, I've been telling some people that if you trim, it's not too wrong to trim because, FCell is now trading at $20. And if you've been entering at 2, you could have probably sold at 8 and 12, and now at 19, 20, you're still going to sell, right? I'm not saying that we are geniuses, but these are so magnified gains, like 2 to 20, a 10x move in just 3 months. Even if it goes $40, guys, I think that we are perhaps willing to take profit. Even if it goes higher. So like, I believe in Neo, I believe in these names, but at some point, some of us have also been taking profits. It's not like, so how do we actually maximize our winners? We maximize our winners by asking ourselves, and this was a topic I said, how to maximize your winners is to know what you own. And after you sold a portion of it, you really have to tell yourself that even if it fell 50% tomorrow, because it already rose like 10x or 3x or 2x in just a single month, you probably need to just admit to yourself that you can never know the top. Let's say you got in at 1 or 2, and then it's now at 5 or 6. Like, what happened with the bingo example, BNGO. Some of us got bio-nanogenomics. And so, some of us got it at 1 and 2, 1.5, some people even chased, right? So, or even added more at 2. Some of them even added a 3, still made a lot of money here at about 6, right? So at the end of the day, whether it goes higher, and this one has like, I think BNGO had 29 million shares on offer at $3. At some point in time, forgive me if I'm gonna put a sell on 6, but even if it goes to 9 or 12, I'm willing to sell as well. So like right now, the market is frothy. Not saying that it's wrong to take a position, which we do, but I'll be willing to take positions on companies that I'm willing to suffer a 20% down if it ever happens. What is your opinion on Tilray and Square? I think Square as a payment facility is so expensive at $200, but the reason why it will remain expensive is because at the end of the day, if Square and social finance are really the best ones in the market, nobody's gonna really sell their shares. I mean, if they're gonna sell their shares, it's gonna be just souvenirs, right? Oh, and I forgot, last night, C Limited actually went all-time high because they got a license for banking in Indonesia. Let me read that news for you. C Limited, Indonesian banking license. So that was 21 hours ago. C Limited acquired Indonesian bank to gain a foothold in financial tech. So we have already, okay, so here's the thing. At some point in time, there are companies that you just choose not to sell at any price, even if it goes $500. Let's assume that Square went $500 tomorrow, you'll still not be tempted to sell. That's the kind of love and devotion that some people have. And in my view, the way to maximize your winners is that you have to really marry them through thick or thin. So do we have these types of companies that we are willing to suffer a 40% slide in case, the market corrects in the next 6 months because it has gone 500%, some of them have gone really nosebleed levels. Like I'd say Enphase here at about $220. I mean, if you haven't sold a single share, at some point in time, you have to answer yourself, how many, how much is the target here, right? If you got in at 40 or 60, are you willing to really go as high as $300 before you unload even and trim? So I do believe that, take me back to the homepage. Sorry, I'm not a Bloomberg subscriber, so I'll find the news in other formats. Oh, here, I can now see limited Indonesian banking. Let's find other articles, not Bloomberg, maybe this one, the Business Times. I'll read it for you. Now, C Limited, we have been bullish on this company for really the longest time. In Awesome10X, we even do a lot of deep dives for this for free. And so C Limited, we continue to hold it. Some of us have a huge position in C Limited because we believe that it's the future, right? It's the Amazon Southeast Asia. It's a Peranakan version of Tencent. It's got everything we want: payments, gaming, e-commerce, and Southeast Asia has the highest growth. So this company is Southeast Asia's most valuable company, and I believe that is true. They have acquired Indonesian's bank, Kesejahtera Economy, according to people familiar with the matter. They've gained full control of this Jakarta-based lender, better known as Bank BKE. So in my view, this is a good move for C Limited. Buying a bank just solidifies them as the modern bank. Right now, the modern bank are companies like Affirm, which actually listed last night IPO, very strong move at about $100. I didn't get in at $100 Affirm. I like it, but just like Airbnb and Affirm, there is a tolerance for me to actually miss out, even if it goes 50% higher tonight. The ambition of C Limited to establish itself as a leader in fintech and services across the region, as much as it has done with mobile gaming and online shopping. They have raised $3 billion in a stock offering last month, and they intend to spend the proceeds on business expansion. Remember, C Limited sold $70 and $190. So the $190 C Limited, they use that money to actually acquire. And so I think this is a good thing of C Limited. And the market likes how C Limited deployed that cash. And that is just normal for C Limited to go all-time highs last night to 202. C Limited went 225. So when you have a great company, continue to go all-time highs, I think that is just, so you'll notice that I have no sells on C Limited. There is a bias. I am very biased, and I'll admit there are companies that I just choose not to sell. Now, for some people, the companies that they choose not to sell would be their Squares, their Teslas, their Rokus. Even if it goes like insane levels, at some point in time, I'm okay with that if that is really how you are. With Tilray at about $15, $16, some of us sold. But if you believe that Tilray is going to go $30, there's nothing wrong. I wouldn't prevent you to hold on to your winners. I wouldn't buy it here. We were willing to buy it at 8 and 6. So that was our entry prices. Here at about 16, some of us are up 100%. Some are more than 100% up, right? And so whether it goes to 20 or 24 or even at $50 someday, I'd say that who knows? Usually I want to move my target when I have an upside. I just really hold on to it and then hold it as high as it goes. Sometimes it goes 10x. Updates on GILT. Amina Amin is asking. That would be the satellite network. To be honest, I didn't study the GILT. For 5G, I really just have Ceragon, Qualcomm, NVIDIA, Inseego. Those are our 5G picks. I'm pretty sure there are more. Your pick is probably good, but sorry, I didn't study it. Last night, I studied a different company. But this is still an uptrend, right? If you're going to just ask me on the secular reasons about Gilat, satellite network, I'm not sure about it. All I can say is that they have $8 here as a resistance. I didn't study the fundamentals of Gilat. At $1,500 to $2,000, how many stocks should I buy? Do you use a paid trading view or Finviz? I don't use a paid trading view. I just use the free. I'm okay not to use the real-time charts because I buy and hold for a decade. I really believe in that. We aren't day trading here. If we are selling, that is just a trim. So you'll notice that some of our companies have been held for, more than a year, more than 2 years. And so, because I started really in the market about 2019 USA. So 2019 to 2020, 2021, right? So 2019 to 2020, that would be about 2 years already. So this would be my 2 years and 1 month. So if you want to have an anniversary for me, 2 years and 15 days, all right, for USA. I have held. Chances are souvenirs I really just hold. So I don't really need a lot of real time. I'm okay with just the daily chart. And I actually implement most of my buys before the market. Or even if I enter it in the market, usually I just market open because here in the Philippines, the US market opens at about 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. But Interactive Brokers allows me to open my trade pre-market hours at 5:30 p.m. So that is very convenient. I actually just implemented outside retail, outside RTH. That is how I implement all of my orders. For $2,000, I'd say perhaps get about 10 names, $100 to $200 each name. That's okay. You can start with 10 names, maybe listen and start with some Zoom video, Facebook, Netflix. I think those are actually good companies. I got them cheap because Facebook last night was about, forgot to say, Facebook was trading at about $250. And so, I felt that this is a good entry point here at about 251, even as it falls to 240. Netflix at 500 is also okay with me, even as it goes to 450. So you've got a great companies like that. They're not the Tesla, but they are still the Tesla of their category, right? So the category might not be a 400% move. The category might be just a 40, 50%, or sometimes 100% move, but that's good, right? For me, I don't normally need everything at 300, 400% returns. Talaga? Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So, I've thank you for the promotion. Thank you for entering Awesome10X. You won't regret it. We have very huge, many testimonials. When you subscribe in Awesome10X, we actually have a promotion, 15,800 pesos a year until February 12, 2021, before the Chinese New Year. With 12 months access on all the Awesome10X materials. You can see all the 2020 ideas continuing to be greater and greater this 2021. Of course, clean energy, a lot of SPACs, a lot of LiDAR firms. Those are actually companies that we believe in and we continue to believe in. And so any dips actually on some of our strong ideas. Zoom video was a strong idea. Beyond Meat was a strong idea. And so this pullback at about 120 is one of the best ways for me to re-enter, because I sold some Zoom at about, I sold some Beyond Meat at about 180, and I sold some Zoom video at about 450, 420. And so getting an entry back at 350 and 360 is actually a good thing for me. What do you think about Twitter? I like Twitter. We made a buy call on Twitter at about 36, 37. I think right now it's about 54, right? Or is it 53? It's been a while since I actually covered Twitter, but I'm okay with it. I think like Jack Dorsey, actually it fell from 54. It's now 47. Yeah, we gave a buy call somewhere about 34, 36 areas. And even here, I gave a re-entry call. I think the Twitter fleet and all of the Twitter is adamant on increasing their revenue streams apart from just advertising. That's why they went into buying some podcasts, right? So I think like they will do well eventually. I'm a Twitter user, and I feel that there's more monetization efforts to come on Twitter's part. And the fleets is just one part of it, but there will be more. So I'm more bullish on Twitter. What is the best amount of capital to start global investing considering the fees? I'd say start with $2,000, and then over time you will see that there are so many great companies. Probably if you have money, add another $1,000 or $2,000. Will help you fund it. You can pay me Philippine pesos. Inside the inner circle, we teach people how to fund their IBKRs without a dollar account through money remittance licenses. And we have those accesses, so we can actually help you out. And then, of course, eventually you'll open your own dollar account when you withdraw. So you can actually ask people who are experienced already to teach you how. How many stocks you hold in your port? You only have one account. Actually, I don't have only one account. I have about, the reality is I have about four. So I have like sub account, and I have a long-term account. Although, even my trading account is becoming it's becoming a really long-term hold account. How many stocks do I own? I don't count, but I think it's around within 60. Or I think I'm already 60 stocks. Now, you might be surprised why it's a lot, but at some point in time, when you have such a cheap cost, and because of experience already, I've learned that maximizing my winners is never really selling. Hashtag never sell is actually a huge thing for us, especially because we're so early in a trend. So people who sold their Tesla feel so bad because even if they've made money, you really don't want to sell the company if you're early. Let's say that you're in early in Square, right? Or you're early in Roku. You know that it's expensive. I know that it's expensive, but at the same time, you really don't want to sell. So at the end of the day, you probably have about 30 companies that you just don't want to sell, and then you want to buy 30 other new names and SPACs. So, it just expands. But yeah, I have some companies that I really don't have plans to sell. That's why. So yeah, Solo I think is good. Solo Electromechanica. This is gonna be similar with RC Moto, similar with FUV, similar with NIU. I'm a believer on a lot of electric vehicles. And actually last night I still added on General Motors, guys, at 47 and 48. I think that this all-time high has leeway to go all-time highs, more all-time highs for this. So I'm very happy for all of you for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing Awesome10X. Happy to subscribe, and I hope that you all eventually become Awesome10X Inner Circle members yourselves. But do not forget to actually help us. The algorithms would enable us to get more viewers. Please don't forget to like and share if you find our content useful for your own portfolio construction. And definitely lots of ideas, lots of great opportunities. Don't be scared. Global investing is not hard. Is it easy? It's not easy without proper research, and that's what Awesome10X is for. Awesome10X is really giving people who are housewives, retirees, people who are jobless, or even if they have jobs, this is an extra income for them. And when I say it's an extra income, it could be an extra $5,000. For somebody who has $8,000, she earning $4,000 in just a month. For others, $4,000 may be something big. For others, it depends. Like I know some people here can make $100,000 already. But we always emphasize you start small, just like Beyond Meat tells you to start eating right, eating your plants, eating your vegetables. Just like that, financial investing is not a one-time, like big time thing. You don't need to pull up a 500,000 peso account, which is about $10,000. If you want to start with $2,000, go ahead. Eventually, when you like companies that we feature, that's when you actually say to yourself, am I underinvested in the best companies in the world? I wouldn't be able to answer that. It's going to be you answering it. Because if you get, I'll tell you what, one of my top featured company picks in January, it enables robots to see with LiDAR. And that robot is actually going to be out this first half 2021 to enable so many people to have a robot clean the house. It's like a robot maid. Now, I know that it might take a long while before robots really are commercialized, but I think that it's a 3-year possibility that it's going to be a 100 million or 100 million to $500 million revenue opportunity for that company. And to just be the thing under the thing, that is one of my concepts. To have a company that's really going to grow because this big company is doing these robots, okay, I'll give you some examples. Amazon has Amazon Robotics. Samsung has them. Apple, Apple, I haven't heard of Apple Robotics, but Google has, Boston Dynamics has, Neuro has, JD, Amazon e-commerce, they have a lot of automation. JD has a lot of automation. because I believe in automation, I want to invest in all the companies that are making automation happen for all of you, for all of us. And really, I want my portfolio to show and express what I truly believe in: electric revolution, clean energy, solar power, wind power. So the biggest and the best alternative meat, direct to consumer. I believe in those trends. I believe in the shift in connected TV and streaming. And so, because of these factors, it is a no-brainer for me to love and own and marry the companies I own. And even if it expands to 90 companies, I think I don't mind, because at the end of the day, some of my companies are more than 100 to 100% already, that practically my money there is free. So that's really my approach. How do I trim my winners? Typically, after a 100 to 200% extended move, or if it rose 100% in a month, usually I trim. Sometimes I'm wrong. Like some of the winners that I trimmed, I feel bad. Like Nano Dimension, I feel bad for trimming because it's 12, right? If you sold at 6, you feel bad. If you sold at 4, you feel bad. Like, at the end of the day, even if your cost is 2, you feel bad. So there. All right, guys. I like NGA. I didn't discuss it, but yeah, we have NGA on our portfolios. NGA is Lion Genesis. North Genesis acquisition is Lion Electric. Should be good for trucks, and it's a last mile delivery solution. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.